We are now at the US-Canadian border again. You can see that Church Street, that once was open, is blocked by large concrete blocks and boulders. At one time, you could just walk down this street. This is the famous Haskell Library and Opera House, which is featured on the Can USA website. And again, we are with George Weller. George, what do you have to say about this?
Okay, this building was built by the Haskells, Martha Haskell, actually probably in reference, or her husband died and she took a bunch of money and left the money to build this building. It was finished in 1901. At that time, people could freely cross the border, basically, and the building was built to be directly right on the border. So the front door is in the US, however, all the books are in Canada. Upstairs is an opera house. It's a copy of the Boston Opera House, because they also had a place in Boston and a place in Stansted. The audience in the Opera House is partially in the US and part of the chairs are in Canada. The stage is in Canada. They've had at least 2 trials here where people could not cross the border without being arrested, one way or the other. This is an example of what was done way back when the border was more open for people to cross. When I was young, there was a frontier swimming project. 2 Red Cross women, one from the US and one from Canada. Ivy Hatch and Aldridge. One from each Red Cross, each country. They decided there were too many kids drowning. They decided to have an international swimming project. That went on for quite a few years. Sometimes it was a Canadian bus that picked up the kids in Stansted, Quebec, Rock Island, Quebec, Beebe, Quebec, Beebe, Vermont, Derby Line, Vermont, and Derby, Vermont, and took them all to the swim project at Lake Salem and Derby. That went on for many years. Sometimes it was a US bus, sometimes it was a Canadian bus. At one point in time, the Canadians stopped the US school bus because it didn't have a Canadian license plate. So then the US bus could not go pick up the Canadian kids. So then they decided to have the kids all come to the library right here at the border. The bus would pick them up there. And then the US Customs decided, well, they hadn't gone through customs to come here, so then they had to go to the US Customs. So then it was too much of a hassle at the US Customs. They couldn't deal with all these kids, so the project quit. It just stopped. Another example of a problem.
Thank you very much, George.